You know that moment. Everyone squeezes in, arms over shoulders. Someone yells, "Wait, wait, one more!" The phone lifts, the countdown begins, and you suddenly need to check something, adjust something, grab something. Or better yet, you volunteer to take the picture. I'll get this one. Convenient. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's that one friend who is somehow present at every event, but mysteriously absent from the photo album. It looks small, harmless, just a preference. But avoiding group photos isn't random. It's rarely just about angles or lighting. There's often a quiet psychology underneath it, about visibility, control, identity, and the complicated feeling of being seen. Let's talk about why some people instinctively step out of the frame, because it's not always what it looks like. First, there's the self-editor. Picture someone scanning the preview before anyone else even notices it's up. Their eyes don't go to the group, they go straight to themselves. Is my smile weird? Is my posture awkward? Why do I look stiff? For the self-editor, a group photo isn't just a memory, it's a permanent record, and permanence feels dangerous. Psychologically, this often ties back to heightened self-consciousness. Some people grew up hyper-aware of how they were perceived. Maybe they were teased, maybe they were compared. Maybe praise was rare, but criticism was sharp. So they learned to monitor themselves in real time. A camera freezes that monitoring into something concrete. It captures a version of them they don't get to adjust later. And that loss of editing power feels deeply uncomfortable. It's not vanity, it's vulnerability. If this is you might not hate photos. You hate unpredictability. You want to curate how you're seen. A group shot takes that control away. Then there's the peripheral belonger. This person shows up, they laugh, they participate, they care. But when it's time to gather for a picture, they drift to the edge, or stand in the back, or half hide behind someone taller. It's subtle. The peripheral belonger often carries a quiet question. Do I fully belong here? Even if no one else dots it. Sometimes this pattern traces back to early social experiences, being the new kid, the odd one out, a family member who felt different. When belonging has once felt fragile, visibility can feel risky. Being in the center of a group photo symbolizes inclusion, and if part of you still isn't sure you've earned that spot, stepping slightly out of frame feels safer. You can still be there, just not too there. Does that resonate? That gentle hovering at the edges? Now here's another type, the identity protector. This person doesn't just avoid the photo, they avoid what it represents. Because photos aren't neutral, they tell stories. Who you were with, what phase of life you were in, how you looked, how you seemed. For some people, identity feels fluid, even fragile. They may have reinvented themselves many times, changed friend groups, changed values, outgrown old versions. A group photo freezes a chapter, and freezing a chapter can feel like being trapped in it. The identity protector avoids photos not because they dislike the moment, but because they don't want to be tied to it, especially if they've learned that attachments can dissolve. There's a quiet rebellion here. If nothing is documented, nothing can hold me.
You might notice this in people who move often, or who keep social circles compartmentalized, or who feel uneasy seeing memories resurface online years later. They don't want the past staring back at them. But here's the twist. Some people avoid group photos for the opposite reason. They feel too visible. Meet the energy manager. For highly sensitive or introverted personalities, being in a group already requires effort. There's social scanning happening constantly. Reading faces, adjusting tone, tracking dynamics. When a camera appears, attention spikes. People shift posture. Smiles intensify. There's a brief performance mode. And for the energy manager, that extra layer of performance is exhausting. A photo isn't just a click. It's a moment of heightened social focus. All eyes forward. All expressions intentional. Afterward, they might feel oddly relieved, like something tight inside just released. If you've ever felt drained after a perfectly pleasant event, especially one with lots of photos, this might be your pattern. You're not antisocial. You just process social exposure deeply. And then there's a quieter, less obvious profile, the worth doubter. This person might joke it off. No, I'll ruin it. Or I don't need to be in it. It sounds playful, self-deprecating, light. But underneath can sit a subtle belief, I don't add much. Photos symbolize significance. Being included in the frame means you matter in that memory. If someone has internalized the idea that they're secondary, the helper, the background supporter, the one who shouldn't take up space, stepping out feels natural. It aligns with their internal script. You'll see this in people who always offer to hold the camera, always organize, always support. They're present, but they struggle to see themselves as central. And here's something important. Avoiding group photos doesn't automatically mean insecurity. Sometimes it's simply preference. Sometimes it's practicality. Sometimes it's just not caring. But when it's consistent, when someone is almost never visible in shared memories, it often connects to something deeper about how they relate to being seen. Because being seen is complicated. It means being captured without edits, being remembered without control, being part of something permanent. For some, that feels warm and affirming. For others, it feels exposed. So, next time you notice yourself stepping aside, ask gently, what feels uncomfortable right now? Is it how I look? Is it the loss of control? Is it the fear of belonging too much or not enough? Is it the energy of being observed? And if you're the friend watching someone slip out of frame, maybe there's compassion there too. Maybe it's not about vanity. Maybe it's about vulnerability. Here's the quiet truth. A group photo is never just a photo. It's a snapshot of identity, of social position, of presence. And not everyone feels safe being frozen in that way. So, which one sounds most familiar to you? The self-editor who wants control over the image? The peripheral belonger who hovers at the edge? The identity protector who resists being tied to a moment? The energy manager who feels socially overexposed? Or the worth doubter who doesn't feel central enough to step in? Maybe you're a mix. Maybe it depends on the crowd. Notice it next time. Notice the micro-hesitation, the step back, the volunteer offer to hold the phone. There's information in that moment, and understanding it doesn't mean you have to change it. It just means you're seeing yourself a little more clearly, and sometimes that's enough. If this reflection stirred something, stay with that curiosity. You might start noticing other places where you step out of the frame, metaphorically or literally, and that awareness, it's its own kind of visibility.